Well, hello again, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Guess who's back? It's the boys from the Me and the Moron podcast. And it's been a little bit of a hiatus, but Captain Sensitivity, formerly known as Big Sexy, has lost quite a bit of weight. Now I'm just sexy. Is back with you. And as always, the comfy slipper Phil.
What's up, everybody? It's the medium sexy and the comfy slipper. And we're very excited to be back. It's been quite a long time, 6.5 years maybe. But the people, they've been begging and pleading with us, and we decided, why not? We're back. There's enough going on in politics where we could muster up a few conversations.
Or as we on the right like to call it, winning.
So speaking of winning, I got to know, after the first debacle, did you vote for Trump for round two?
All 3 times. All 3 of my votes went to Trump.
All the voter fraud I know about is done by Republicans.
That's
the irony.
Actually, I like to call this season of the Me and the Moron podcast the return of the MAGA King. It's almost like a Star Wars, movie.
It feels like I'm watching a Star Wars movie every day when the news comes out.
Oh, it's spectacular. The leftists are running scared daily. They do not want to be exposed. There's all those trillions. They went to condoms in the Middle East.
I got to tell you, I am the first, 3 weeks that it's been, Democrats are literally hiding in caves. I have no idea where they are, but so much is going on, and I don't hear a peep out of them. They are terrified.
Oh, it's horrifying. I mean, this guy, Trump, he's going to delve into government waste. And in 1 week, it's like $65 billion. And they're exposing literally DEI plays in other countries, condoms in the Middle East. These are where American tax dollars are going to.
Well, the condoms were a good investment because have you seen the population of India?
We don't want them breeding any more terrorists.
That's exactly.
He's already outcast Canada, our closest ally.
The Gulf of America.
He and his good friend Benjamin Netanyahu, they have decided that we are going to turn the Gaza Strip into a lovely resort-style area on the Mediterranean, and I'm 100% for it.
The Trump Hotel, Casino, Golf Resort in Gaza, fantastic idea. Where do I invest?
Cutting down terrorism a day at a time. It's been magnificent.
Hamas and Israel could battle it out on the golf course, on the links.
Correct, that's right. And I'll be one of the first to vacation there. I'll go. I want to be one of the first ones to check into the Trump Hotel in the Gaza Strip.
Have you seen, speaking of checking into hotels, there's a woman from the Bronx or New York City. She went to Pakistan to marry an 18 or a 19-year-old boy. When she got there, he totally ghosted her. And then she just started doing these press conferences demanding money from the government that she was going to fix up Pakistan. And then they put her in a mental hospital and they shipped her back. This is what happened.
Oh, they sent her back. Immediately sent her back here. But God forbid we try to send anyone back in this country. My God, we're the worst people on earth.
I wish I knew her name. It's 3 weeks of brilliant TikToks.
The Philippines once when I was a sailor to make love to a young boy. But completely different circumstances. And yes, the penicillin helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Trump wins the election. How did you feel going in? Were you surprised?
No, believe it or not, I really was. I was very surprised because I just had a feeling that every leftist on earth, including the dead ones, we're going to come out and vote in this election. I'm completely shocked that not only the win, but I can't think of the last time. I think maybe Reagan was the last person that flipped every single swing state.
Yeah.
I mean, he took every swing state.
It was a bloodbath.
It was crazy. I also think it was an absolute joke. I mean, they had to know, the Democrats had to know they were throwing her to the wolves. Who honestly really believed that in her? Listen to her talk for 10 minutes. Who believed she was going to be the leader of the free world?
But you say that, but have you heard Trump talk for 10 minutes?
No, but people are afraid of him at least. He can get in office and at least terrorize some people and get something.
He's terrorizing us.
But he's getting things done, though. He's getting things done. Did you see yesterday's proposal to end tax on senior citizens, anyone over the age of 62. He's proposing to end all taxes on seniors, no taxes on disability or Social Security, rather. No taxes on tips.
Tips, yeah.
I mean, that's a great thing. And then you got people protesting in the streets against it. I'm like, I don't understand. No matter what he does, the left is against it. It's the worst thing ever. He's like, I'm going to save you like $600 billion a year in fraudulent government spending. They're like, hang him. Hang him. He's the worst guy ever.
I think the problem, he just unleashed Elon Musk, made up a position and said, go wherever you want, do whatever, fire whoever you want. And Elon's just taken a sledgehammer to everything.
Yeah, and find where this money's going. I mean, and literally in a week, dude, $65 billion in misappropriated money. I mean, that's our money. How are both sides not cheering for this in the street? Literally cheering.
I agree with the principle. Definitely, let's bring in the waste. How they're doing it. The problem is you could quit now and they'll pay you for 8 months. Who's going to take that? The best employees that the government have are going to jump on that because they could get jobs in the private market, no problem.
Right.
And then they get an 8-month bonus out of it. It's
right.
The people who are going to stay are the ones who can't go out and get jobs.
Yeah, but I think that's just an immediate thing. I think down the road, this is going to be a really good thing for taxpayers. We're just cutting a lot of fat out of government. Like, we did an episode years ago, you and I, about the slush funds to pay off, misconduct by senators and congressmen. And it was in like 40, 50, 70 million dollars a year they're using of taxpayer money to pay people off. Like, these are all things that are going to go away. All going to go away.
Well, I don't know about that. But the Congress's slush fund for their, gumads is not disappearing.
And there has to be a reason why. I mean, mostly on the left right now, but even Republican politicians are running and hiding under rocks right now. What Elon is going to expose where all of this money went, and they're trying to do anything in their power to stop him, because long gone are the days of pay for play.
Let me look. I just pulled up an article of the things he's done day by day. So day one, renamed Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America. Are you for or against that?
I already have my T-shirt. I'm 100% for it. I like it. He said it's magnificent.
Okay. Terminated diversity, equity, and inclusion program.
Oh, I've been screaming for that. I mean, I'm absolutely for that. And listen, that's just a different name for affirmative action. I've been against that for God knows how long also. Whatever happened to the most qualified person for the position?
Restored the federal death penalty.
Yes, love it.
I'm for it too.
Yeah, I love it.
And how long it takes to kill these animals.
I mean, really, we're paying to keep these guys alive for like 30 years with appeals. You look at some other countries that have the death penalty, it's like, oh, you're guilty. They drag you out that afternoon, shoot you, and call it a day.
I get it, the old cases where they would just word of mouth stuff, but we have you on video doing something. Let's just end it.
Right. We have you dead to rights. Just put the guy down like a dog. Put him down, and that's it.
This is a big one because it's anti-constitution. Move to end birthright citizenship.
It's such a touchy thing. I'm torn with it. I am. I feel the kids were born here. They are citizens. But I don't think that should be a path for the parent who committed a crime to automatically get to stay here because they came here and had a kid. I don't pretend to know the solution to it, but I think it's a system that's being played by those people. They come here knowing they're going to have a kid, and it forces the government to allow them to stay here. It's like circumventing the process by getting pregnant.
Yeah. No.
And I feel bad for the kid, but it can't happen. It's still illegal. I don't know who. Some reporter asked Homan, the new border czar, Tom Homan, and it was AOC. It wasn't a reporter. It was AOC when they were Congress was interviewing him, and the question was like, so she kept saying, so you're for separating children from their families, and he said, They broke the law. They committed a crime. And she said, but you're separating children from their families. And he made a great point. If I'm in my car with my 2 kids and I'm intoxicated and get into an accident and the cops arrest me for being drunk, I go to jail. I'm separated from my children. I broke the law. I'm separated from my children. It happens to American citizens too. The word illegal has gotten away, I think, from every Democrat in America. You're an illegal citizen, which means you've broken the law, period. There should be no gray area here.
Well, I think the gray area comes from it's convenient for us when we need it. So we love them working on our farms. We love our landscapers. We love literally my friend's housekeeper is an illegal. I said, he's a big Trumper. I go, you turning her in? He's like, well, if I got to sacrifice
right.
You know.
But listen, years ago, I don't have it in front of me, but there was an interview that Hillary Clinton did, and I actually agreed with it. But now it's funny that she would, she's so against this deportation. But years ago, I don't know if it was from 2016 when she was running, but she was saying illegal is illegal. You can't break the law and come here, do it constitutionally. And if there are people that are working and you have to pay a penalty for being here illegal to stay here, you have to pay taxes on, on any money that you're sending out of the government, out of the United States, that you're taking money from our country, sending it home at a higher rate than we would pay. Make it a way for them to stay to do this work, but it can't go on the way it's going on. We have illegals here working, and then meanwhile, we're footing the bill for their hospital bills, for their kids. They're getting food stamps. That can't happen. If you come here illegally and you're working, you're farming, you're whatever, you have to pay a penalty for being here. You have to pay taxes on any money that you're sending out of the country. There has to be some way to track this.
Well, I think we're a net positive, $6.5 billion in tax income from illegal immigration, which is crazy to me.
Right.
But I do agree there's a huge, there is an immigration problem. I'm not one of those Democrats. But, I didn't think the wall was the solution, very unsophisticated. You get a rope, you get a ladder, you cut a hole,
Right.
That kind of stuff.
I did like the idea of the rail system on the wall. I mean, they have used it in other countries. I don't know about that size, but the other countries have used it in prisons, where there's a rail car that rides the top of the wall around the,
I don't even know offhand. It's got to be 3,000 miles. It's just got to be crazy.
I mean, if it's a train type system rail with guards or whatever, but I don't know what the answer is, but doing nothing is not the answer. I mean, the amount of illegals flooding into this country, and speaking of that, people up in arms over Trump with the tariffs on Canada immediately got Canada and Mexico to come to the table and help with the border, which is what he wanted in the first place. Canada's allowing fentanyl to flood over the border into the United States, illegals coming through Canada into the United States. Suddenly he threatens 25% tariffs. They claim they'll tariff us on what we're importing. Trump says, fine, make it 50%. I'll hit you with a tariff. And now Canada says, okay, he agrees. Trudeau says, you get 20,000 agents we'll send to the border. We are also now going to label cartels as terrorist organizations. So by doing that, allows us to hunt them down in their own country. We don't have to wait for them to come here. It's not small. And the amount of drugs crossing the Canadian border, too, coming into the U.S. is crazy. I mean, we'll look into that for the next episode. We'll get some statistics on that. But what is the guy asking? Can you protect your own border and help our country? You're our closest ally. You have no border agents. Suddenly he threatens them, and there's 20,000 Canadian border agents. They're declaring the cartels, terrorist organizations. What is so wrong with what he's doing? Protect America.
I got stopped at the Canadian border, and they didn't let me in. This is a true story.
Really?
I was on a bus touring with the national tour of The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
The least threatening thing you could ever imagine.
You were the cowardly lion.
It's me and 40 of my gay friends on a bus, going to do a show in Canada.
Right.
And we're at the border, and they pulled me off and another gentleman, and they ran our passports. And I had a DUI from
you told me this. I remember that.
2004, whatever. So they interrogate me. They put me in a room, Really cute agent, by the way. She was like beautiful redhead.
Did they
Whatever.
at least do a cavity search?
No cavity search, just the interrogation. But she's like, "What makes you think we want a criminal walking our streets?" She says to me.
Really?
And I was younger, so I was like, I'm a musician on a bus doing The Wizard of Oz, like not driving.
Right.
Couldn't be safer.
I
You
got
know?
drunk once 5 years ago. Like, you know.
So, and anyway, didn't charm her. They wouldn't let me in. So the bus, my company manager just gave me some money. He's like, find a hotel, I'll get you home. And the bus went on without
That's
me.
crazy. That's crazy.
So the borders there are, some safe immigration.
You know what it is? There's so many rural, desolate areas of Canada that are, I mean, like brutally cold and rural, that there's no stations. I mean, you can literally, if you wanted to, walk across the border, And I don't get what aggravates me is, okay, if you dislike a guy or, you're against his politics, that's fine. How can anyone living in America that's an American get mad at a guy that wants to constantly put America first? It's like, oh my God, you're like, America should come
He
first.
says that a lot, but he's still, making his fucking stupid hats in China. He's still, he talks a big game, but he doesn't back it up with his own businesses.
No, you're right. I mean, he does, and his hotels and stuff have used illegals in the past too, and I get
his
that.
stiffed American contractors.
But I mean, on important issues like the U.S. border, why is it so bad that he wants to protect our border? He wants to get drugs out. He's not looking to deport non-criminal. Like he's looking to get these guys that are coming across the border that are gangbangers, MS-13, drug dealers, like get them the fuck out of our country. What is so bad about that?
Speaking of great segue right here, I'm so good at this. So the biggest thing I had a problem with on his day one list of things, freeze 1,600 January 6 rioters, including ones who were on video attacking police officers. He freed the leader of the Proud Boys, who was in jail for seditious conspiracy against the government. So he's the law and order guy, right? So how does it?
Well, his thing was with that. He said the process was these people were not given due process, and some of the sentences were so outlandish compared to what a sentence would be for a guy who shot someone is out quicker than these people who entered the Capitol illegally. Like some of the guys that didn't even do violence that got arrested were getting like 10 years, where a guy shoots someone in New York City, he's out in 3 years.
Well, I think the problem is when you roll into the Capitol on election day with zip ties to stop an election.
Yeah, but there were a lot of people arrested that did nothing more than enter the building. You know what I'm saying? So to round them all up, first of all, these people were tried and sentenced in record time, all of them.
It took years.
It took like a year and a half, and all of them were in jail.
We have guys on video attacking police officers, and now they're out free thinking that they did the right thing.
But we also have people on video attacking police officers that were burning down cities and nothing was done. We have Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer wearing African outfits and kneeling with them while these people are burning down cities. Nothing happened. Nothing. Not one person was arrested.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
I mean, look, thank God for Kyle Rittenhouse was the only person that did anything. He was the only person that did anything. Nothing was done. Everybody looked the other way.
Stations,
like 12
cars,
people entered the Capitol and said, waved hello. They're in prison for life. That went on over that caused over $10 billion in damage. Not a single person is in prison for that. Meanwhile, there was like $73 damage done to a desk at the Capitol. These people are getting 20 years.
Oh, yeah. So, no problem at all. Attacking police officers, let them free. You're cool.
I'm for all. Well, I look at it this way. Until people have a problem with the same opposite side of the aisle, with Joe Biden pardoning everyone before they've even been mentioned in a crime, then they should be pardoned too. What are you pardoning people that have done nothing for if they've done nothing?
I don't think we have Jill Biden on video attacking a police officer.
You
with
mean
a
the
flagpole.
babysitter? We call her the babysitter.
I love her. She's
Yeah,
great.
Jill, the babysitter.
She's a teacher. I love her.
She's not, and she's a doctor apparently.
Well, all right. TikTok ban. For it or against it?
You know, to be honest, like I don't really care one way or the other. I'm not a huge TikTok guy. I mean, you know, I don't
use
like the
TikTok.
idea of a foreign government having access to all of our information. I'm really, you know, ban it. I guess I'm leaning more towards banning it. I'm for it.
It's not
Unless there's a way that we regulate it. We come up with a way that we're regulating it or we're running it in the U.S. at least.
It's not so much them having our information. That is a part of it, of course. But imagine they put their thumb on the scale of what they're showing us and our kids. Imagine all the division we have in our country is because of the algorithms and the videos that have been fed to us, right? Maybe our kids are now being shown videos that are pro-communism. You know what I mean? And anti-democracy.
Sure, absolutely.
And they slowly feed it to these kids and to us.
Sure, absolutely.
And now we're in this problem. So that's why I think it should be banned.
We talked about this too,
Yeah.
like decades ago. We didn't have access to information. Like we knew what went on locally in our areas with the local news, and then you had 1 hour of world news every night. That was it. Now these kids, like you said, they go on TikTok. They're watching videos of students in the Gaza Strip, and this is all being fed to them on every outlet, wherever they can go. You go on Twitter or X, you know, or TikTok, any social media platform. You're seeing young people from every walk of life around the globe and their behavior everywhere.
Yeah. So,
You know,
social
and our
media
kids think then it's okay. Well, they're protesting that. We got kids in this country protesting things that like they've never seen, don't know the first thing about, you know, like a transvestite, like pro-Palestine. Go over to Palestine as a transvestite. They behead you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're pro-Palestine. You don't even know what you're protesting against.
Yeah.
If you went there as a transvestite, they literally behead you. So, you know, I agree with what you're saying. Our kids are being fed nonsense that they don't even understand what they're.
In China, the kids aren't even allowed on TikTok for more than 30 minutes a day.
That's great.
Something like that.
That's great.
It's something short like that. All our social media, it's like killing us. And that being said, another great segue, make sure you follow us on social media, our Instagram, our YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast.
Yes, and you know, please let's grow the show. You know, tell your friends and your family, and help us grow the show.
Because right now you're sitting there, you're listening, and you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing.
And I promise, if you know what, if you can log on or message us and let us know that you're helping us to grow the show, and I will wear my red, white, and blue wrestling onesie on an episode.
I found some of our old promos from years ago when we
Legendary.
did it. You naked behind a guitar. We have Naked Cowboy, the Naked Cowboy episode and interview.
That was fantastic.
The movie promo to that.
Yes.
We were a bunch of silly young kids.
The Naked Cowboy episode was fantastic. I told him I could double for him at any time if he'd like.
We
But,
should.
yeah, it's been a long time, you know. But now that Trump is back, like transvestites no longer control the reading rainbow for our children. You know, nobody's confused about what bathroom to use any longer. Men can't have babies.
Just like that. Just like that, right?
Just like that. Men can't have babies. Men don't menstruate anymore. The world is like, it's America again.
Stupid.
No
So
one's
stupid.
confused anymore. You can call people a retard. He said so. You know. It
Who
feels
said
like
that? I heard
America again. Somebody said Trump said we're allowed to call people retards again. I
Trump
love
said
it.
it.
Yeah.
He had a press conference. Oh my God, he was looking at his son Eric. Well, everybody, we want to welcome you back. Thank you for listening. This is just a preview show. It's kind of unprepared, off the hip. We're sorry it's late. We told everybody it would be on Inauguration Day, but you know, you're not the boss of us, so we didn't do that.
No, actually,
So-
I got bronchitis. We went to Vegas for a week. The missus and I, and it was like 26 degrees in Vegas. We both came home sick as dogs, so
Attaboy.
that really delayed us about 2 weeks. So I'm not
So-
sorry for the delay because only the weak apologize, and empathy is for cowards. But
So we are going to try our best to do these episodes as often as possible. You guys try your best to watch them on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify or the Apple Podcast app. And stay tuned. We'll be back.
and God bless the great President Trump, and God bless America.
We're all doomed.
Captain Sensitivity out.